In 2019, my pet photography studio had 8 different revenue streams. If that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. Hi everyone, Monique Renee here, photographer at Silver Paw Studio, and on this channel, I empower you to tell all of your tales with tales through photography and videography. Although we are quite a ways into 2020 as of this filming, I thought it might be beneficial to show you a breakdown in percentages of how I generated revenue in my studio in 2019. Clearly, 2020 is a year all to itself and extremely unique and challenging in a way that we've never seen before. However, I am still generating revenue from these revenue streams, and I think the big difference will be which part of the pie shrinks or grows in 2020. Today, we are going to look at a pie chart. We're going to go back to the whiteboard. If you saw either one of these videos, I had quite a bit of fun actually using my whiteboard. Now, before I get the whiteboard out, I want to let you know that we'll be talking through each of these revenue streams as we go, and there are actually way more types of revenue you can be pulling in with your pet photography business. All right, if that sounds intriguing, hold on a sec while I set up my whiteboard here and we'll get to work. All right, we are all set up. I have taken the liberty of drawing out the pie shape, and I know it has wiggly lines, but so does real delicious like chocolate cream pie. And also I just used this basket. So let's start with the biggest piece of the pie. And of course that is private commission portraits. It's exactly what you'd think. It is, I meet with a family or an individual and we photograph them and their pets, or just their pets, or just them. All right, so that is this very first piece of the pie. I'm gonna color it, I like coloring. That is the very first piece of this pie. Okay, the giant orange piece is private commission. And that is 66%. So that's family sessions, 66%. That is pretty much what you'd think. Right? 66% of my 2019 revenue. Let me put 2019. Okay, 2019 revenue streams. So obviously, that's pretty much what you'd all suspect, right? That's mostly what we do. That's mostly what we advertise. That's what we spend all of our fall generally doing. So family sessions. Let's go on to the next biggest piece of the pie. That's this one. And just to simplify this, I'm just gonna round it up or down percentages. So if this is off by a couple percent, it's because I rounded. I don't want a bunch of decimals, okay. The next piece is 13.6, I'm just gonna see 14%, and that is business client photos, still images for business clients. And that is 14% business. All right, so that is maybe headshots, business portraits. It could be I photograph some still images of their products or their facility. Any kind of still images they might need. So that's where that is. I do actually do a fair amount of business portraits. I love doing them with their pets too. And so there you go. A good 14% came from business photos. So you can see that's the bulk of what I bring in. But what about the rest? Let's look. The next biggest one. This honestly really kind of surprised me because it was an offering I just started last year. And this Next biggest piece of the pie is from business video. Early on in 2019, I began offering video work for my clients. This is how much percentage of my 2019 revenue came from business video clients. 10. Are you surprised? I was a little bit surprised. 10% of my revenue was from business video work. Now, this could be I did an actual full production video, maybe a 3-minute video that's going to be evergreen on their website. It could be a series of social media videos, really short videos, all kinds of different things. So, video. What's the next piece? So the next piece is 5.5% came from additional orders. Additional orders right here. So let's say 6%. How did I categorize that? Say I photographed a client and their animals in March, and then they came back in September and needed additional prints or products. This can happen for a number of reasons. First one being they ordered what they could at the time for whatever reason, space or budget, and they knew they were going to order more later. So we caught up with them later to order more from that session. Another example is oftentimes an earlier in the year session, we then make Christmas cards or holiday cards for them in the fall. It could also be after their pet passes and they would like more prints or different type of prints. And so sometimes people will contact me for that as well. Okay, these last 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. These last 4 are a very small piece of the pie. When you're looking at your revenue streams, you wonder how much effort went into making this return. I like looking at this every year because then I can think, it really seemed like I put a lot of effort into it and that is all the return I got. Perhaps that's not something I want to continue, or maybe where I could grow. And so sometimes it's a matter of, well, I didn't put much effort into it and I even made that. Maybe that's an area I can grow in. So there's 2 ways that you can look at these smaller pieces of the pie. So the next one up, although it's only 1.8%, so I'm just gonna say 2%, this little piece here, 2% is from events. So events, 2% came from events. So that would be if I photographed an event as a volunteer, but I also in their gallery gave them the option to order prints. This happens when I go photograph the sled dogs. So the sled dog teams, I go out there, I'm invited out there to photograph the sled dog teams, but I do not charge them and they don't pay me. So what I do is I take pictures and I put them in a gallery because I just like to do this. And then anyone who wants to order prints is able to through the gallery link. So that's what kind I mean for the events. The next one is 1%, and that came from stock photos. You see a lot of this on YouTube, people talking about stock photography. Getty is where I'm at, iStock Getty, and I've been there about 11 years. And what's interesting to me is I've made 1% of my income in 2019 was from iStock Getty, but I put zero effort into that platform in at least 6 years. I haven't uploaded a single photo to iStock and Getty for over 6 years. So I have about 1,000 images on there now. And that's what I have. And so it trickles in. For now, I'm just gonna leave everything there and it's a nice little, a few dollars here and there. So 1% has come from stock photos. Stock. We're just gonna call these next 2 also 1%. This one's technically 0.83%, but it's social media consulting. Something I offered very late last year was social media consulting. I have a program that I give in person generally, but I've also given it virtually to groups of people. So networking groups, things like that. That's all about my approach to social media marketing. And occasionally I have someone saying, oh my gosh, can you help me personally, my business? And so I've put together a whole package for my style of social media consulting. And so that made me 0.83% social media consulting. So we got one piece of the pie left for my 2019 revenue streams. And as much as I talk about it on YouTube, you'd think it'd be a lot higher, but it is my 3 online courses. I have spent quite a bit of money, time, effort, thought process into making online courses, and 2019 I made 1%. There is an art around creating online courses. Now, I love teaching, clearly, and I love creating online courses, but so much depends on so many factors. What type of platform you put your course on, how much you charge, how much you market it, honestly. And one of my courses I decide to make completely free of charge. You may have seen a series of videos I did last fall all about fundraising with photographers, and I no longer charge for that course. That course is free on Skillshare, so I really just have 2 courses that bring in income at this point, my Cat Photography 101 and Cell Phone Photography for Pet Lovers. I have many other courses in mind, so you'll be the first to know when another course comes out, but at this point I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars creating courses over 4 years or so, and last year it brought in 1%. So a little disappointing, except that those just all take time to grow. And honestly, if you're thinking about making an online course, go follow my friend Diana Wilson, Texas Tasker. Her link is down below. Her whole platform is about software, video editing, and course creation. Huge on course creation. She covers all those topics way more than I could. What do you think? Was that what you expected? Were you surprised by the different types of revenue streams that I have? Although there are 8 here, there are so many more to explore beyond maybe the obvious. In 2020, all of these things are different percentages, but they're still all there. So I do have income still from most of these, but their place in the pie chart just has changed. And it has taken me many years to build up these different revenue streams. As I said, my stock photography I've been working on 11, maybe 12 years now. My social media consulting, I could definitely market that more. That is something I can do on a virtual basis online. My online courses, I definitely plan to make more online courses. I can't help myself. Business video, I plan on increasing that quite a bit. There aren't any events really to speak of this year. Unless people buy images from events past, which are still up in their gallery, may not make much on that this year. So things are flux, and they kind of always will be. It just depends on, this year we have crazy circumstances, obviously, and then what we plan to put more effort and time and resources into. Part of the reason I wanted to make this video is to give you hope that although right now you may not be able to do an in-person photo session, there are other options. That's what I have for you today, covering my 2019 revenue streams for Silver Paw Studio. If you have ideas for other revenue streams, we'd all love to know. You can type them in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Be sure to sign up for one of my email groups, either the one for photographers or my general list, and they're all in the description below. If you like this video, you will definitely like some of these. As always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATS's. I kind of want chocolate pie now. Let's go get some pie.